black gold, not oil, the other black liquid that drives our country. Coffee, it's more than just a drink. It's a ritual, a culture, a way of life. From the early morning rush to the late night grind, it fuels the dreams and work ethic of millions. Here in the United States, coffee is woven into the fabric of our daily lives. Whether it's a brainstorming business meeting, a quick shot before a workout, or a team of cooks getting ready to start a busy shift, there's no doubt that coffee fuels our lives. Grab your favorite mug and join me as we embark on a journey from sharing the legend of the bean to exploring the rich world of coffee culture.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna roast 10 pounds of coffee.
How long does this whole process take?
It depends, like 8 pounds will take us maybe 7 to 8 minutes.
Oh, quick.
Yeah, it's quick.
Oh,
perfect.
give it to
Love
me.
it, love it, let's go.
What type of roast are we making today?
We are gonna try to achieve a medium roast.
A medium roast.
Dark roast.
Okay, my wife likes that, she'll be happy.
And then now you can pull the red lever.
Pull the red lever, heard.
Yes, sir. And you'll see the green line is gonna start going down. That's the temperature of the bean, right? Pull out the trier,
Pull this out?
Yeah, check it out. You see how green and vegetally it still looks? Take a smell.
Are these hot?
Not yet, but it will get hot.
Oh yeah, now it smells like slowly cooking the asparagus.
So we're moving pretty quick through this roast.
Okay, down to 1,000.
Yes, sir. Now, how are we looking? Yeah, it's nice. Maybe getting some chocolatey notes.
Yeah, chocolate notes. Maybe we're doing a dark roast.
It's been about 4 minutes. The bean should be cool by now. It shouldn't hurt when you grab it, but check it out. What do you think?
I don't know.
Is it hot?
It tastes like a coffee bean now.
Now, I would say the coffee is ready to be dumped.
No, the smell is amazing. If you guys could smell this episode, you're missing out. Where's like that sweet spot for freshness?
So there's freshness on the green coffee side and then also on the roasted side, right? So green coffee, if stored properly, in the right conditions, with the right packaging and everything, could be fresh for anywhere 12 to 15 months. Once the coffee is roasted and it remains in whole bean, like it is really fresh for about 3 months, and at about 3 months, if especially exposed to air.
Much shorter shelf life after roasted.
After roasted, exactly. Wow. And then after grounded, so if you grind coffee, then the freshness really starts going down fast. And just smell the coffee dry, yeah. So in the cupping process first, you smell it dry. Oh, by the way, I should have told you, we actually never pick up the...
oh, really?
Yeah, so you bend down towards it.
Oh, this is legit,
You smell. Then
it's
you
like
take
you
another
bow
layer.
to the coffee.
Yeah, you bow to the coffee.
You do it Japanese style.
Because you also don't want to get them confused. We'll start seeing the difference between dry aroma and wet aroma. Okay. So what we just did was dry aroma, and then when we break the crust, which you'll see a crust start forming on these cups, you'll start seeing the difference. Get a little lower so you can smell it. Yeah. Smell it. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna come through and I'm gonna remove the grounds from the top crust of the coffee, and then we're actually gonna try it as it cools down. So you're gonna keep your head down a little bit.
Oh, this is exciting.
And then you'll use that as your spit cup.
If I messed this up, guys, I apologize. That definitely looked like a learned technique. So always raw, always uncut, always unedited. Let's see how this goes.
Don't try this at home.
Yeah.
Or do.
Here we go.
There you go. There you go.
How'd I do?
Great. I think you did great, yeah.
All right.
Down.
So if you guys want higher acidic coffee, buy Colombian beans. If you want the lower acidic coffee, buy Costa Rican or Brazilian beans.
Yeah.
There you go.
El Salvador is less acidity. So yeah, man. I hope you enjoyed that.
This was amazing, dude. Thank you so much. I loved it. Yeah, I know. I'm doing an episode on coffee culture and I'm at Starbucks. But realistically, can we not respect Starbucks for the impact that it's had on coffee culture here in the United States? Doing this episode and not giving a little bit of kudos to them would be wrong. Come on. how do you think Starbucks has had an impact on coffee culture, like in the United States?
You know how like you don't have to buy a coffee to like be in here? You could literally just get a water. You could just like sit in here just for like the vibe. We just try to make it as homey as possible, go and talk to people. It's more about like making those connections in like the community and like getting to know people. I have my regulars and stuff, and I always just try to like make somebody's day by just like talking to them.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Cheers.
So you really do have to respect Starbucks. Prior to Starbucks coming out, most of your coffee shops were like your lattes, your cappuccinos, your espressos, but Starbucks really kind of like pioneered this like coffee cocktail culture, if you can, where I'm here getting some like triple shot, double mocha, blah, 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 that I can't even remember what she made for me, but I mean, it's delicious. But again, like Starbucks pioneered that. It made you crave what they were serving. Not that you didn't crave like your cappuccino or espresso, but like adding all these like complex flavors into each one of their coffees, it just elevated what cafe culture was. And now sitting around me, 1, 2, 3, 4, there's at least 20 people in here right now, working, having their lunch, enjoying meetings, chilling, just watching. Like, it's undeniable that Starbucks has not played a major role in coffee culture in the United States. Your first coffee shop experience might have been a Starbucks as well. You know, like think about whether you're a teenager, you wanted to grab your quick, like coffee was like that rebel thing, right? Do you remember when you were a teenager, like your mom and dad wouldn't let you drink coffee, but like you could sneak away to Starbucks and get that caffeine hit? And that first time you've ever experienced that was like, God, this like burst of energy. Diner coffee. So before there were like artwork swans in your latte and fancy pour overs and hipster coffee shops, Americans consumed Black Joe sitting at a countertop in a diner just like this for centuries. So it seems fitting that I tell you the story of how coffee was discovered. Now this is folklore, so I can't guarantee that this is all factual, but it's the story that I'm aware of. So coffee started in Ethiopia and was discovered by a goat herder. So his goats were eating the berries off of the coffee tree. And he was like, wow, you know, after my goats have eaten all these berries, they just have so much energy. So he decides to take a branch of the berries back to like the village elder, the village shaman, and he tells them, he says, you know, my goats, they have so much energy after eating these berries. And the shaman looks at the berries and he says, oh no, there's nothing special about this. And he casts the whole branch into the fire. And as those berries started to roast in that fire, this beautiful aroma of coffee kind of started filling the air. And then they're like, wait, something's happening here. What's going on? And so that was the very beginning of roasting coffee beans. How did you get into coffee in general?
Started, you know, the stereotype at Starbucks.
Okay.
Then I landed here.
Okay.
Yeah, which is more specialty, more, you know, hands-on, a lot of stuff.
What's the big difference between like your work at Starbucks and like working here like by City? Like what would be like the biggest difference?
Oh, okay. The hugest difference is dialing in the espresso.
Okay.
Like every day,
okay.
Sometimes twice a day, 3 times a day.
Okay.
Like really tasting like all of the coffee and making sure each part of it is on, you know, on
What does
par.
that mean, dialing in the espresso?
So a lot of things go into the, you know, the taste of espresso.
Okay.
And usually you're trying to find the balance, the middle ground between it.
Okay.
So you don't want to go too sour, you don't want to go too bitter.
Okay.
You want to, you know, get the flavor notes out.
Okay.
And every bean that we have a specific type of flavor note.
Okay. Yeah, Vice City bean is like the best. Well, from what I'm learning here, if you want to taste the notes of the coffee, you want to do like a pour over or something that doesn't like throw a bunch of like creams and sugar in it. You just want to taste like the quality of her magic behind the bar here. Do you feel that arts and craft baristas like yourself have played a role in developing coffee culture in the country?
I feel like now specialty coffee is starting to like bloom a lot.
I completely agree.
Yeah, like especially in Miami, like it's like every week I'm hearing about a new coffee shop, new specialty coffee shop. And I think it's because it's making people take espresso a little bit more seriously, coffee in general more seriously, versus like in the past where you just get whatever coffee put a whole bunch of sugar in it and hope it's good.
Yeah, it was almost like utilitarian. Like at one time it was like, okay, I just need my cup of coffee in the morning to get my morning buzz and go. And so it was just like putting on my socks, brush my teeth, drink my coffee and go. But now it's developing, right?
Like now I feel like a lot of people just come just to drink a coffee, just to enjoy the taste of a coffee.
Which is the culture in itself, right?
Yeah, versus just like only getting a coffee for work. Like some people would just sit here and just be like, this is my me time, my personal time. Well,
Oh, that's delicious. This is delicious. Thank you so much. Delicious. It's super fruity. You can taste that there's a lot of really great like fruit notes in it. Like you got black cherry, you got peach, you got almost like banana. It's really, really nice. Good coffee. And you know, Julian wants to try it. Here you go, buddy. He loves coffee. So fast forward, all these goat farmers are like chewing on these beans, right? And they're getting like super caffeine buzz off these beans. Fast forward a little bit more, they start learning how to brew the beans into a liquid, which creates like its coffee for the first time. Now jump fast forward to the 16th, 17th century, and the Dutch and the French start to colonize parts of Africa. Well, they make their way into Ethiopia, they discover coffee, and they're just like mind blown, right? So you may have heard of the Dutch East India Trading Company. They were responsible for importing and exporting all the coffee out of Africa at this time. Now the French and the Dutch, they didn't want other countries growing their own coffee. So what they did is they made a law that all coffee beans leaving Africa actually had to be boiled, because you can't grow a boiled bean. So super cool fact, all of the coffee that's anywhere in the rest of the world outside of Africa was smuggled out of Africa by sailors and travelers. This is a pretty cool concept. So you're, drinking a Brazilian blend. That Brazilian blend came from Ethiopia and was smuggled out of Ethiopia to be then planted in Brazil or Italy or wherever. On a completely different side note, Julian just told me that I perfectly matched the chairs, the tables, and everything going around here. That wasn't planned. I just threw this outfit on. That is so funny. Look at this. This is so funny. Oh man. What do you do? Who knows? Where's that bean from?
Everything's from the owner's farm in Honduras.
Honduras, perfect. What about your personal impact in like the city having to do with coffee culture?
I would say more with the customers. I'm an everyday, trying to make your day brighter type of person.
Okay, I love it.
I mean, basically the final product.
Right.
Getting you the final product, but it's a lot of work behind it, as you guys are gonna show. Every cup is made once.
One of my favorite things about what you guys do here is it breaks it down to like a science, Like you go so deep into the artistry that you actually start to like have it as science, which I think is just fascinating. All right. Thank you so much. Appreciate that.
Of course, guys.
So coffee now has traveled from Africa all the way up into Europe and found a home in Venice. The Italians are credited for actually inventing espresso. So now you have these coffee houses that have started to pop up all over Italy, and it was the meeting grounds for the innovators, the thinkers. And you can actually pair the traveling of coffee to some of the most incredible inventions and stories of our time. Think about Shakespeare, 17th century. Think about the French Revolution, Candide by Voltaire, one of my favorite books of all time, written in the 17th century. So there were already plenty of pubs and brew houses all throughout Europe, way before cafes and like coffee houses. And so once coffee made its way into Europe, coffee is more of an upper, right? Coffee, you have that like caffeine burst, and beer is a downer, right? So after you have a couple beers, you feel more calm and more like subdued. And after a couple cups of coffee, you're like ready to go. And that sparks thinking. That's where people come together and those ideas actually start to percolate, where people start coming up with these free thoughts, these radical thoughts. And that is where you have so much creativity and that expansion of enlightenment. Gracias. Salud. So little ventanitas, or little windows, are like this all over the country. The majority of them are in Latin areas. And these are like cultural hubs for people to come together, get a shot of coffee, talk about their day, get ready for whatever is gonna happen later. Or at the end of the day, they come through here, they get it, they sit down on tables like this and just kind of have their conversation. It's pretty much a staple in Latin communities. So let's close this up, right? Coffee has now made it to the United States. There are coffee shops, cafes on every single corner in almost every metropolitan city. Little hubs for people to get together, to people watch, to study, first dates, to flirt, to work on ideas. And one of the things just fascinates me the most about coffee culture, and I can reflect back on my own history of going to coffee shops, each of my businesses, without question, have started in a coffee shop. I've started with that idea of like, how can I solve a problem? How can I bring more of my ideas and my culture to my businesses? And I feel like there have been millions of those conversations in coffee shops across the country. And you can attribute so much of those conversations into the inventions that we have, into the ideas for potentially Google, Facebook, Tesla, all of these ideas. You're telling me that Elon Musk didn't sit down in a coffee shop and have some sort of conversation about PayPal? It's just like, it's cool to think about the impact that coffee has played in that culture here in the United States and what that has done for us as a society. And that to me is fascinating. And what is coffee culture to the Latins here?
Oh man, coffee's life to the Latins.
Okay, thank you.
The Cubans who are the colada. I'm Dominican, so we have our cafecito, but it's not as strong as una colada. And then, you know, my wife, being Colombian, she calls it un tinto. So I think un tinto is more of Americano for them.
Okay.
But coffee's life to the Latin culture.
What about like the gathering of coffee? Like what does coffee as like symbolize as far as like people coming together?
Oh man, I'm born and raised here, so one place that I always know as, you know, the gathering of coffee is Versailles.
Of course, a staple.
Everybody
staple.
Goes there, you know, talk coffee, talk politics.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Know, that's a big thing, and I think, you know, coffee drinking, you know, people talk about the politics, talk about life, talk about business. It always comes to coffee.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of business meetings are.
Of course, I completely agree. It's like, it feels like in a way like coffee is like the motor to get conversations going. You know, like it fuels the conversation, it fuels the idea.
I mean, we got our client over here who comes every day.
Yeah.
And he comes for his media colada.
Of course.
You know, and we have a lot of people that work in this area that come for their coffee every morning, every afternoon. Yeah. Here's a little cortadito, is one of my favorites.
Thank you, I appreciate that. Beautiful, very nice crema.
Coffee with cream there, and it goes perfect. And of course, you have your
rocket fuel.
Rocket fuel. And we're gonna go and get you guys started here.
Oh yeah.
Boy. I don't know how much coffee we're gonna have today.
You have no idea. Are you ready for one? Are you done? I think you need some more, bro.
I think you need
to
some
come up
more,
here.
Lenny.
Come on. What is your name? Lenny. Lenny Kino. Nice to meet you. Okay, come on. We got one for you. You got one more. We gotta get Julian in. This is coffee culture in the sense of like people gathering around the window, talking shop, like you're saying, talking politics in the morning. You have your cup, you tell the story of the date you went on or the shit that happened at work or whatever it is. And kind of that's the culture that like, again, it binds people together.
There you go.
There you go.
Guys.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much. Cheers.
Thank you.
Cheers. 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 Cheers.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, you did great. Hey, so if you had as much fun watching this episode as I had making it, thank you so much. I'm buzzing on coffee. I don't even know what my outro is right now. It's so good. But if you like this episode and want to see my next episode, click right here. If you want to see my previous episode, click right here. Bye. Say bye, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.